does happen, where the right will have a chance, but we're not expecting it. Ground Zero, Juice Bandits hitting the pitch to find out if Ground Zero are straight off to Sweden.
Yeah, they would love to get straight off to an early goal as well. Something that this team has been known for in the past, their strength of the kickoffs, though. This time around, it looks as if it will be the Juice Bandits setting up that initial attack after a nice dribble through Zaid. I do have to say, though, just looking back one last time real quick on yesterday, it would be a shame for Riot, that Game 7 overtime, that miracle run for them, if they don't even get a chance to earn that spot as well. Someone's leaving today so disappointed.
Of course, but that's the point. That's the point of having two teams, and we're looking not just at this split, but also the next one in the regain, the rebuild of the region. I'm kind of looking at a lot on the weekend. There's a good shot that's saved out on how Juice Bandits could be able to take down Ground Zero. We saw them yesterday play a very grounded game, very solo play heavy. I don't think that's going to work too well against Ground Zero. We'll be looking more towards their ability to counterattack that they brought out on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely, because Ground Zero, mechanically, they'll be able to go toe for you. They have that lineup. Torsos, Express, Amphis, all of them do grind the ones. All of them have that same mechanical ability you think they can pull out as well, like on par with the Bandits. So you do need to show that little bit more to go over them, but the Bandits have been building towards that, and I think even though they didn't need to show it in getting through Eros, the fact that they have gone to this top four, the fact that they've built themselves up for this, it tells me that they are ready to an extent to be here, so I don't want to write them off as being unable to match the team play as well.
It's a numbers game. The more times you get into that spot, the more likely you are to make it, and that's why Hawk, he's a carrier. He's the top goal scorer of the region, and he shows up with a great angle.
That was so tight, but still smack dab in the middle of the net. A nice, even 79 kilometers per hour. Look, something that's now carried over from yesterday as well. I don't know what it is, but the team that we predict to win is always giving up the first goal.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ground Zero lose the first game. They are notoriously slow starters, especially from Amphis. It always feels like it takes him a while to warm up into the series. The advantage here is we saw some weakness from Juice Bandits in terms of their kickoffs, and Ground Zero have the best kickoff game in OCE, so they could make some very quick game cutbacks. Express.
Oh, what? Okay. Well, Hawk will get credit for that goal, but we all saw who knocked it in. How does this happen?
Express has been a top 10 player since pre-RLCS days. He's always been at the top. It's very, very strange to see him get an own goal like that. Not a great start for the veteran here.
It was smack dab in the middle of the net, Yummy. If it was the play going the other way, you would call that intentional. Great redirect, great goal. I just am shocked that happened.
It doesn't quite matter here if Ground Zero can score the goal instantly, but Hawk up to the task as well. We know that Juice Bandits have the ability, and I'm looking at Hawk in particular, but Torsos, he continues his tirade. He's got his first.
There we go. Ground Zero, it takes them a couple minutes, but they do finally get on the board, and it's Torsos just being that faster player, keeping the ball as high as it could possibly go in order to beat out the two defenders in net. Very nice shot coming from Ground Zero. Now we can see this best kickoff in the region actually go the other way. Good cheat by Hawk to keep Ground Zero back on that defensive pass. At least initially, Amphis is still going to create the space.
No chance here for Express, though, to make up for earlier. Goes off the backboard, and Hawk is there. He's always ready to go straight for that ball and cover the backboard. Important against Ground Zero, who love to play in the air. Now a counter-attack for Juice Bandits. That was wild that Torsos had moved all the way back.
I find that interesting as well because it allowed Juice Bandits to slow down the pace, which is something I wouldn't be surprised to see become a constant threat for the Juice Bandits. As you mentioned before, Ground Zero, they love that elevation. They love the aerial game, where Juice Bandits have been finding a lot of success down low with the ground game. So it might be in the Bandits' best interest to play it slow, to play it cool, calm, collected. And if Ground Zero is going to rotate all the way back, give up all that space, it will make it easier for the Bandits to slow the pace down when they want to.
Still waiting for somebody from Ground Zero to really push forward hard. And in that case, Torsos and Amphis did at the same time a double commit that has left them sprawling. Juice Bandits still can hold on to this lead. They may even be be able to extend it as Hawk is going for the angle off the corner. Another chance here for Zaid. Put the shot on, but is still in the zone. Sprat's going to come through, and Ground Zero hold him out.
Sprat just didn't have enough boost to fully commit for that first attack. However, the Bandits are not done yet. Ball off that backward will be read by Express. Torsos cheating forward. Have that redirect. It was a good play by Sprat off the backward to bring it back that other way. Only 40 seconds remaining, though, and Sprat with the chance. Shot goes a little bit wide.
We have good days and we have bad days for Sprat. Sometimes he can't miss, and sometimes he has just that little bit of inaccuracy. Hopefully that is not the case for this Juice Bandits campaign today, as they just have to hold on for 24 more seconds. Ground Zero, though, have an attack. Go for the angle. It's off the post. That was meant to be in.
That's going to be a little bit frustrating for Ground Zero. Nothing you can't bounce back from. However, Juice Bandits, they want to put this game away. Ball sent to the orange side of the pitch where Sprat will keep the pressure there. 2v1, and Sprat still finds contact with the ball. However, Ground Zero with possession, get the ball past that midfield line. Amphis keeps it up. Torsos goes for a fake musty. Express not ready. Ball hits the ground, and Bandits take the win.
Great start here for the Bandits, and looking a lot cleaner than they were yesterday, and not so heavy reliant on that solo play and on Hawk doing as much as he possibly can. It looks more like a team effort here, even if Hawk was the one that scored both the goals.
Yeah, I'd have to say that first goal still felt like a pretty strong Hawk effort, but the pieces are in place for the Juice Bandits to have more of that team play, to be more focal around each other. I am not too concerned yet for Ground Zero, though. They had their opportunities. Yes, a couple of those shots towards the end didn't quite hit their mark, but those shots were still there, and Ground Zero isn't the type of team that you expect to miss those frequently.
Doesn't happen too often, but his own goal here from Express is the one that made all the difference, and that's not a great start for Ground Zero. We've seen it before, but maybe not to that scale.
Yeah, it was an awkward one. The entire game, I think Ground Zero is going to try to ride off as a little bit of an awkward one. The team, you mentioned before, sometimes they are slow at warming up. They need that game. And if they're only going to be building forward from here, if they're only going to be growing stronger, I still will want to see a bit more from the Bandits as well, assuming they're going to be able to keep pace. This series, it's only been one game, Yummy. It's still wide open.
It is completely open, and game 2, you can expect anything. Also looking back at keyboard Zaid, the one that broke his keyboard, I don't think it's going to affect him too much. It's not like a controller where it feels stiff and different. He did go and buy the exact same make and model, and it should be fine, and it's appearing fine so far.
Yeah, you really would have to get that same model, though. It would be kind of awkward if you all of a sudden have to switch that equipment, so very fortunate Zaid was able to find that, given how short notice it was. However, that's a nice demo from Torsos Express. We'll get credit for the first goal.
And this is something that is a huge sign for Ground Zero in their performance. They're going for that bump, they're going for that push forward, and that has been that sign that they have gained the confidence to go on all-out attack.
Again, I don't think there's enough that we saw from game 1 for them to sort of lose that confidence straight away. They felt like the more aggressive team. They felt like they had more opportunities. They just failed at capitalizing on them one too many times. Straight off into our second game, though, they've already got that 1-0 lead. We're back on track, perhaps, to go to Sweden. Of course, that's still 4 games away. A bit of a longer journey. Shot off the post. Not quite able to go through. Hawk did just enough to make the save.
That was pretty good overall for Juice Bandits to be able to stay calm under that pressure. Something that they have done a lot is panic in those moments, and now they've even got that counter-attacking opportunity. The Ground Zero much more ready for these counter-attacks from Juice Bandits.
That they are. You can see them just lining themselves up, already getting the bumps. Amphis throwing poor Sprat around, who was able to recover, but that little bit of delay causes Torsos to get there first, and Express with the redirect makes it a 2-0 lead.
Quality stuff here from Express, making up for earlier, of course, and that's a really nice redirect. Zaid is expecting him to bang that over in the right-hand side, and he gets the delicate touch.
Ground Zero with a comfortable 2-goal cushion. Just over a minute into our second game. Juice Bandits, we haven't seen them behind really yet so far in this series. this is when they've kind of faltered in the past. Sometimes when the Juice Bandits do lose, they lose quite heavily. Maybe they'll be able to turn this around. However, if we don't see them get a gold relatively quickly, I feel like Ground Zero just should be able to dominate the pitch. That is Bandits looking for it. Won't be able to find the angle this time.
Hawk is the one who'd be able to score those quick goals. Essentially out of the defense, we saw him go for some very long end-to-end plays in yesterday's matches. The Ground Zero, they're the kind of team with a huge 1v1 player, the best 1v1 player in OCE. Express as well, very experienced in those situations. They're going to be comfortable in one-on-one scenarios.
Absolutely. You never want to go one-on-one against a player like Torsos. You never want to go one-on-one against a player like Express or Amphis. All three of them can go at it. Torsos, though, I believe that's who you were referring to when you were talking about the best ones player in the region.
Yeah, I'd be happy to go one-on-one against Amphis. Mechanically, he's very solid, but he hasn't got that same skill set, that same patience that we see from Torsos. As Ground Zero right now are leading somewhat of the charge and keeping this 2-goal lead. Hawk is going for that 1v1 scenario, but is it going to be a pressure play instead?
He didn't have the boost to really capitalize off of that bump. A bit unfortunate. That could have been opening for the Bandits. Hawk nearly finds another. Amphis this time, though, with the save. Bandits keeping control right now, and they're keeping it nice and snug, yet Express still is able to find the gap, and then Torsos across the middle. 1v1 against Zaid. Doesn't quite go for the bump. Not fast enough this time. Bandits on the counterattack, though, has Hawk, but Hawk does not have the goal.
Maybe a chance, though, as Sprat has the double. Well shut down by Amphis. Hawk is continually getting some good catches here, but never finding any ground against this GZ roster. And minute 50 left on the clock, still plenty of time for Juice Bandits, but against Ground Zero, when they're looking as comfortable, it is going to be a worry.
That was so clean by Sprat. Again, a little bit unfortunate they don't have the boost to work with Hawk. Not sure if they were called off the play or what that one was. Ground Zero says, thank you very much. We'll take possession now. Zaid with the flick, though. Can they get underneath? Not quite in time. Torsos makes the save.
I'm just waiting for Zaid to pop off with his new keyboard, but hasn't happened just yet. He's getting some solid plays right now. He's faked out Torsos by a mile too, but Express was there to back it up. A pass play down to Sprat, but now Amphis from in front of the ball, shutting down Juice Bandits and their attack. A potential clear, potential shot from Torsos. A minute remaining, and Ground Zero looking like they are going to equalize unless this goal comes soon.
I'm loving how confident Ground Zero is looking on defense right now. Even on plays where Torsos gets faked out, they know they still have the player behind them, so they can go for those challenges. They can put themselves in that high-risk spot. Good save right there from Sprat, though, to stop the Ground Zero attack. Now, going back the other way, Hawk might have a chance right here. Sprat does get in Amphis' way, yet Torsos keeps it calm once again, bounces it off the post.
That's a miracle save from Torsos. He was facing backwards. He was able to read where the shot was coming just in time to give himself a little bit of reverse momentum, and that gives him the ability to get up to that top corner and make the save. That's what's special about that Torsos defense, and that's what's special about Ground Zero. That's going to put them in a very comfortable win here.
Yeah, they've been able to hold on. There was a lot of shots coming from the Bandits' side. A lot of them, again, more of that solo play, but when they went for the passes, what? Wait. All right, well, Express got one back now. Now he's even for what happened before.
Zaid goes for the own goal / pass back, and Sprat was not expecting that one. He looks silly too. Well, it's not going to make a difference in the game, but maybe on a mental note, be a bit tough for Juice Bandits.
That's not the last step you want to take in game number 2. Ground Zero, though, only equalized this series as a result, so we're not quite finished yet. But I want to go back to that Ground Zero defense and how well it matches up against that more individual style of Juice Bandits. They just had every single play, it felt like red, and even when the Bandits did try to mix it up and go for a pass play, they were confident enough to go for those interceptions. It really felt like the Bandits could not make any ground when on that orange side of the field.
I will also point out that with this shot here, Torsos has finally equalized CJ now as the top shot taker of OC RLCS history. So one more shot and he will overtake and just be a few away from that massive 2,500 mark. At Ground Zero looking very, very comfortable. That was we'll call it a 2-0 game, but it never really felt like they were too tested in the defense.
If we're calling this one a 2-0 game, does that mean game number 1 was actually 1-1, but the Bandits get credit for the victory?
Well, that one was more in the middle of the game. This one was right at the end, in desperation, kind of garbage time. That's why I'm kind of discounting it a little bit here. But yeah, it was still a great goal. The fact that we have 2 of them already in 2 games is pretty crazy.
Yeah, making up for yesterday, perhaps. Either way, I'm sick of them. I love own goals. Own goals are great. Not on Sunday. We had our fun. We had our laughs, chuckle time. But from here on out, I just want to see good, clean Rocket League. I only want to see goals go in your opponent's net.
We are heading into Game 3, and Ground Zero could put themselves in the lead in the series. Go 2 games away from that major. We're seeing Torsos in particular have a very good series so far, and we'll see if that continues, because if Amphis starts popping off, then I worry about Juice Bandit's chances at all.
I'm still waiting to see those big pop-off Amphis games, however, though. It has been something that's been few and far between so far this season. A lot of Ground Zero success has been, I would say, more accredited to Torsos and their individual playmaking abilities. Amphis kind of that sleeping dragon. We know it's there. The question is, when will it wake up? Sprat nearly woke us up with a quick goal on this one, though. Bandits very unfortunate to walk away with no goal scored.
That wasn't even going to be a Sprat goal. It was going to be another Amphis own goal. And thankfully, for my sanity, it was off the crossbar, but OCE is certainly delivering in terms of crazy gameplay. What a shot by Sprat, but I can't believe that's saved out. How incredible is this defense from Ground Zero?
That was so unfortunate for the Bandits. Ground Zero, I can't help but feel like they got away with one right there, but they were able to clear it to safety. That commit, a little bit awkward. Express, though, will be arriving in time to take that possession back. Now a little bit of an opening. Hawk still able to find and shut it down.
Chance.
This could be it. 1v1 Zayd, new keyboard. No keyboard magic. Still a 0-0 game.
That's what we're looking for. The Bandits on the counterattack. Ground Zero are going to give opportunities. We see especially Torsos and Amphis tend to double commit on that attack, tend to both be very committed towards these balls, which is part of their strength, so they don't slow down, but it also creates somewhat of an opening for Bandits.
As we see now the opening actually possibly going the other way. A tried attempt of the bump, but Express not quite there. It's actually Torsos who gets demoed. This could lead to an opening. Hawk not quite fast enough to capitalize straight away. Zayd still will look for the backboard pass, where Amphis will shut it down. Physical defense right now inhibiting Bandits from getting their dream set up. Hawk will have to go corner to corner, and eventually we do see Ground Zero creating space.
Torsos is just pushing that forward. He's giving a little room here for Ground Zero to regen their boost, but this one could be tough. If Hawk was able to find the angle, that was a goal. Evers just makes the save, and he lands right behind the ball. Once again, the Ground Zero individual efforts are working to keep Juice Bandits at bay.
Yeah, that defense from Ground Zero, it is so impenetrable. Whoa, Sprat almost is getting caught up with Torsos right there. I think that did enough to disrupt any sort of cheating forward redirect out of the star player. And well, now it is the Bandits trying to hold on this defensive side. Also, Yummy, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I see 2 shots next to Torsos right now. He passed that mark. He is now the shot leader.
He has the most shots in OCE history. Express, he's missed one. That was a shot that needed to go in to make sure that they are on the way overseas. Now, Juice Bandits have got themselves out of defense and got themselves out of dodge.
Yeah, well, and can they turn it into a goal scorer, though? Because Ground Zero's defense has been that little bit more effective in flipping it back the other way. Case in point, Amphis now trying to do it themselves. Eventually will throw it down to Torsos, who has a bit more boost to work with. Next up will be Amphis again, who kind of got stuck in an awkward position, wins out on the 50, yet it's Hawk who follows it through. Amphis does eventually find that pass back over to Torsos, tries to get the bump on Zayd. It's not quite there.
Ground Zero, they're not going to be happy with the fact that they've missed the golden opportunity, and especially as Juice Bandits are creating some very threatening chances of their own. Amphis, He was very, very enthusiastic about that one. No chance of getting up to that ball. And Juice Bandits have been a lot calmer in defense than we've seen in the past. Not sending two players. Zaid as well, pushing into a good spot to be able to back up Hawk here. And he will do just that as he gets the clear out over the top of one. Express keeps it in the mix. Maybe this is Ground Zero with the pressure play. They're starting to drain the boost away from Juice Bandits. And 40 seconds left. Amphis just needs to find it in the center. It's reached it for Torsos. He's going for the aerial play. It goes high again. Express backing it up. Ground Zero have kept Juice Bandits in such a difficult position. It's almost a goal. Ground Zero can't score over this defense.
Juice Bandits were so cool, calm, collected, and even the one moment where it looked like Sprat may have been caught out of position, it was Hawk from behind who came through with a massive touch. That said, still 12 seconds to go. They might have to do it all over again unless, of course, Sprat can get that ball to the backboard. Here come the Bandits. Try to end regulation with a 0-seconder ball. Waterfall straight into Express, and Ground Zero should be able to clear it back. We're going to overtime.
So clutch from both teams in the defense, and what an important game to do it in. It goes to OT, the fake kickoff comes out, but Juice Bandits know that that's going to be the play. They backed off, they took that first touch away from that Ground Zero second man and avoided the fake kickoff play.
This actually could be a really good setup from the Bandits right now. Pressure from behind, though, driven by Amphis, actually disrupts the attack.
Massive.
Here comes Amphis, open net. That's gonna go in. And Ground Zero take game 3.
One big 50 and one mistake from Zaid is all it takes for Ground Zero to get a lead in this series. It was a very tough fought battle. You see Torsos, a bit of a cheeky smile there. He was certainly stressed. We know from this guy, he's so emotionally invested. He definitely lets the nerves get to him, but once he scores that goal, it all releases.
And I love how hard Ground Zero is having to work for this series right now, because one of the fears we had coming into yesterday was if Renegades win Ground Zero, they get that free pass. They don't have to realistically earn that spot to Sweden. Well, right now, Juice Bandits are giving that fight to them. They're going to have to earn this one. Look at the shots taken by the Ground Zero side. 9 shots, 1 goal. This Bandits defense has shown up today.
I mean, the defense of both teams was incredible. There was a masterclass from Ground Zero on how to deal with the shots coming in, how to recover incredibly well. I think that is the most underestimated part of professional play, is the fact that they'll make a touch and instantly be ready for another one before the standard player would be ready to even go for a second play.
Yeah, and if you want to see evidence of it on the pitch, or at least reflected in the scoreline, 2 shutouts in a row right now from this Ground Zero defense against the Juice Bandits, one of the most dynamic attacking teams within the region. And it's coming from these individual efforts. It's really been impressive to see. Perhaps a world class to see right now. Ground Zero, they're getting so close.
They're very close here. 2 games away. And they were very confident yesterday. We all heard in the interview Torsos say that Juice Bandits went to Game 7 against nobody. You know, he really thinks that they did not perform up to standard, and that made them even more comfortable. And at least you got to give him credit for putting his own, dignity on the line, for sending out the trash talk in advance. And yeah, he's starting to deliver. He's the one performing on top for Ground Zero.
Yeah, crosshairs set on NRG, right? Like that's where his goal is. That's where their focus is. They've got the plane tickets book in their mind. But absolutely, it is good to see that kind of confidence. I wouldn't necessarily call Team Eros nobodies, not after the way how they did perform yesterday, but it does kind of show how, according to some of these teams, they really do feel like these tier lists, this upper echelon, it does belong to Ground Zero and the Renegades. And Ground Zero, they feel like they should be atop that even then. So they have today to prove that's where they belong to be, and so far they are on track to do so.
I mean, that's Torsos' philosophy. He thinks he's bad, but everyone else is just worse. And I mean, it comes out in his play. He's a perfectionist. He puts in the grind. He plays more ranked than anyone else in professional play in OCE, and he's probably got to be amongst the top of, maybe even the top, in terms of just hours played in the world.
Yeah, it shows, though. The results have come to back it up. Not missing a single international LAN when it comes to representing OCE. Obviously, That comes through hard work. That comes from the dedication, and I don't think he has any intention to start missing them right now. That said, Sprat still looking to play. Spoiler will be able to go the distance, and it's Juice Bandits who strike first.
It's the counter-attack charge that always is so strong, and you see them driving up the pitch, getting the demo, and Sprat, I mean, he had to be worried that he constantly had Torsos on his tail.
It was like a mosquito just buzzing around your ear that entire time you're dribbling it down. Credit to Hawk, though, for finding that demo at the last possible moment just to make sure that ball goes through. However, Amphis looking for some revenge, tried to musty it off the backboard. Express is still there, and we have a tie ball game.
The musty didn't have the power that Amphis wanted, but it gave enough sideways direction. It enabled him to get that touch on Zaid as well. And you see Express always ready to follow up on his teammates. Such a good supportive player.
And that was the ground zero kickoff that we've been waiting to see for a little bit. It took a couple games to get there. However, all of that was established straight from the word go. Now back to a tied ball game. Hawk gonna try to make a little magic happen themselves through the corner. Has the angle, but has the teammate instead. And Sprat makes it 2-1.
We talk about support players at the other end. It is that Sprat. Number 2 man hanging across, knowing that there is a chance that goes off the post, and it's a good read. Juice Bandits are fired up.
Yeah, right back out in front. Only took them 20 seconds. Game number 4, a smorgasbord of goals. After what we've seen before with both teams struggling to hit the net, kind of crazy to see how fast this tempo has shifted.
2 goals already after not scoring a single goal in the last 2. It's 4 goals already for the 2 teams. That is a firecracker of a shot.
Yeah, we're done playing defense right now. It's back to offense as Express banged that one so hard. 121 kilometers per hour, even after hitting the ground. Express has been playing very well so far this series. Just, again, that constant patient player, that consistency we know and love from them, been within the scene, almost like a pillar of it for so long. Now with a tie ball game, it's once again back on the Bandits to try to regain that lead.
Yes, this is much more of what we expected from Ground Zero of RLCS. They didn't worry too much about the defense. They knew that they could do it in a 1v1 situation or even a 1vx, and then they just scored so many goals at the other end, it was hard to deal with. At the moment, it only scored 2, but at any point in time, it feels like the floodgates could open.
At that same token, though, seeing Hawk shed up that double touch off that side wall, whenever a player like him goes for a shot like that, you can't help but hold your breath. You can't help but, you know, figure Juice Bandits, they still got a couple tricks up their sleeve. Shot nearly goes through. Good positioning by Amphis to find the save.
Well, Ground Zero have always been steady in the defense, but Juice Bandits are racking up a lot of shots here as Express just goes for the bump. That was because Torsos had no boost, so it gives Torsos more chances to get this ball up the field. A straight shot on. What a save out by Zaid. Although it has used all their boost, and Ground Zero continue the attack for now. It gets cleared out, and Amphis will have to tie up the midfield.
Yeah, but they're not really going to be able to. Has to fall back for boost instead, and that will leave the job up to Torsos. But in a 1v3 situation, it will be Express who's needed to provide support from underneath. Now slowing the pace down, going for a cheeky touch. Zaid had that red before Amphis can get to it. Still pressure was put down. Hawk goes for the big clear, big demo as well, just to give all the space needed. Zaid unable to find the bump, means no goal scored.
Not sure if that spawn was fortunate or unfortunate there for Torsos amongst his teammates, but also amongst the ball. Ground Zero, they were able to get out of defense, but not for very long. The demos are starting to really rack up, and it's Zaid going for them, becoming an absolute mosquito now for Juice Bandits. And Ground Zero, they have to worry about a shot. Another bump coming through. There's people flying all around the Ground Zero net, and yet they've been able to avoid the bumps when it really counted.
I love how physical the Juice Bandits are getting, though. It's very rare we see a team try to out-bump or out-demo a team like Ground Zero, yet here the Juice Bandits are doing whatever it takes to try to give their players the space that they need in order to find their strong offense. I do love this adaptation. I do love this risk-taking. It's what you need to do if you want to beat the best.
And we also just saw a play that was tantamount to Ground Zero's success in the last season, where we saw Amphis go for the aerial play, go for the flip reset, and yet it be a fake, not actually executing on, knowing that Torsos can follow it up. This is a backboard. There was no follow-up, though. That was certainly a great opportunity for Ground Zero to score, but they play it safe, they play it solo, and almost find the net.
Normally Express is so good at reading what the teammates are going to do, but that time was a bit more centered for them. Torsos, though, still keeping that possession by slowing it down. It gives Ground Zero that time to fall back and get the boost and try again. Express looking to lead the charge. Amphiss from underneath can't make contact. Torsos once again there to keep some semblance of pressure. However, Hawk is already looking down the field, nearly able to find Sprat.
The Juice Bandits were able to drain Ground Zero's boost from being in the defense. A very difficult task. What a pitch! Amphiss end-to-end gets the go-ahead goal.
In case you forgot where Amphiss may have been hiding, here he is, pinching it first off the ceiling, then off the ground, just getting it past Sprat. 17 seconds to spare, and Ground Zero may have pushed themselves to match point.
The player for RLCS is now starting to warm up. It maybe took 3 events for him to get there, but we're starting to see the impact that this young player can have. Or is it going to be Juice Bandits? They found the angle. Sprat looking for another 4 seconds left. Juice Bandits, one last chance. It hits the ground at Ground Zero. Go to match point.
Oh, you can never count the Bandits out. I'm going to keep saying this because it just winds up true again and again. This time, though, they weren't able to capitalize. Good spike by Amphiss, both in terms of finding that go-ahead goal and ending this game when it's all said and done. Ground Zero, they are 1 game away from attending the first major.
Most importantly as well, Torsos, 0 shots in this game. It was all Amphiss and Express stepping up in that offensive zone to be able to create those goals. So over on Juice Bandits, we're seeing a very even set of gameplay, but I'm still just waiting for Hawk to have that big moment.
Yeah, we saw hints of it during our first couple games, but since then, a lot more silent. The wings not quite clipped yet, but we are getting there. For me, though, when I looked at the stats again, the big one that I'm drawn to is that demo difference. 4 demos from the Juice Bandits. They played a very physical game, and even though it didn't give them their win, I think it kept them in it with that best shot they had at stealing one away. So I do hope that they don't let this loss affect their playstyle too much. I think they have the right idea. They just need to execute on a couple more of those opportunities they created.
Juice Bandits have historically gotten into the top 8 and had to verse the likes of Ground Zero. Had that really tough round against Renegades in the last one. And you can see, no matter how solid you're playing, it's just so hard to take on these top teams right now. No matter how much you've gained across the season, these guys are still so much less experienced. That can they do it right now? Are they able to step up to the mark? They need to win 3 in a row.
It's such a tough ask to win so many games back to back to back, especially when you consider what Ground Zero is playing for. You know, this is the most motivated we have probably seen Ground Zero all season. Torsos even said as much. This is the time when they're going to retake their top spot in OCE. Who is it to the Bandits to break that up? Who are the Bandits really to do that to them? Well, they want to show us right now. Shot comes a little bit high and off the backboard. Ground Zero will collect.
Well, for Bandits, it'd have to steal it away from Ground Zero, and Torsos does not want that. He is looking 4 minutes away from the Sweden major.
And of course, it will be Torsos to find the first go-ahead goal. A very nice dribble, too fast for the Bandits to react. And 4.5 minutes against this Bandits offense, that's a very tough ask in its own right. However, from what we see now, this Ground Zero defense, that one goal very well could be enough. A second would have been all that much more sweet. This one does come off the post.
Although 1 game away does potentially mean that Ground Zero are getting nervous. This is where you know you're on the verge of victory, and even with a few games in your pocket, you can start getting inside your head, playing it a little bit too safe. We've seen that in the past from Express himself, and hopefully he's learned from those.
Yeah, I feel like, though, with how much experience Ground Zero has been able to get from themselves, so if you take a look at all their successes through the trials and tribulations of RLCS X, they should be able to handle just 1 more game. They should be able to handle just 1 more series, but all throughout RLCS X, you never really had that LAN looming over their head. That was never that be-all, end-all goal. So perhaps that little bit of extra pressure might be enough to crack this team.
I know the teams are definitely hoping for Worlds to be the case, but at this moment. It is very, very real. And we're actually seeing Ground Zero stacking the net a lot in these defensive situations. They look nervous, but that's not going to matter. They have been nervous before. They know how to execute mechanically, even when their hands are shaking a little bit. And this allowed them to get in the midfield. But for them, they need to be at the other end to keep their nerves steeled.
Yeah, having to play this much defense probably isn't doing too good for them, but what's a couple years off your lifespan if you can get yourself into that major Amphis? Well, rather play it safe, rather take it to the distance. Not quite able to smack it through. Good attempt from Torsos, but the Bandits, they're not able to turn that double commit around right away. It was a very sloppy clear, too much pressure coming from Express at the end of the day, and now as we bounce around in the middle of the field, we are halfway of the way there for Ground Zero getting that fourth win.
So many just solid touches from Ground Zero to keep it away from the Bandits. They don't look like they're trying to send too much to go for this extra goal. They're playing to hold on to this lead. It can certainly bite you just trying to hold on to a 1-goal lead, but it is working for now.
Let's see what Juice Bandits can do on this attacking half. Well, they stay down low, so Torsos goes up high. I have to throw back to games 2 and 3 where the Bandits were completely shut out. It's something we've already seen twice before. Ground Zero have been playing that lights out at key moments, and now Amphis is going to try to set something up to Torsos. It's the pace and setup, and the shot's a bit too wide. Trying to beat out Hawk, just couldn't get the angle.
1-0 lead, and the clock is ticking towards Ground Zero, able to take the series, maybe take the major. We'll see if that is the case as they look for another goal. It's right in front of net. What a save out from Hawk. He keeps Juice Bandits alive.
Hawk has been so patient in every single game, particularly on that defensive half. I don't think we've seen Ground Zero really fake out Hawk once yet. This is a player who is in for playing close to their peak and really giving the Bandits the best chance for that upset. Nearly gets the setup there. Zayd will be the one looking to play through the corner, passing it back to the other way where Hawk is waiting now, trying to create that space. Good challenge from Express, though, gives Ground Zero more time.
A minute left for Juice Bandits to play the spoil, but Ground Zero are starting to taste the victory. They've held on for 3 minutes so far with that 1 goal, and 1 goal is all they need.
Zayd has a chance. Oh my goodness, that was Amphis, sorry. Needed to commit in that pressure situation, came through. Any hesitation, it's a tie ball game, but those are the moments that can get you to Sweden.
They're smelling victory right now as well. 30 seconds, they are in defense, but it doesn't seem to matter too much, especially if Juice Bandits can't find that pass. They do manage to get the touch over to Hawk, but once again, the challenge comes through from Ground Zero. Now it's just 20 seconds.
20 seconds on the clock, and Juice Bandits are looking to set themselves up. It will be Hawk trying to keep that ball up high through the corner. Express is there, but Sprat has the read. Zayd too far back to commit. Torsos keeping control in that corner. 5 seconds remaining, and Amphis may have just done it, clearing it to the other side of the pitch. Timer hits 0. Bandits on the wrong side of the field. Ground Zero wins.
They are heading to the major. Torsos has not missed a single LAN, and he refuses to do so here. We are going to see Ground Zero heading to Sweden.
What a victory for this team, and what a dominant way to do so. Yes, you can look at it and say, oh boy, that series was close. 3 of those 4 victories were shutouts. 3 of those 4 victories was Ground Zero just playing lights out defense, something we haven't really seen too much from them in the past be able to do. And if this is the evolution of this team, is this is what they've been building towards all split long, they should be very confident in their abilities to win this regional WoW.
After so much blood, sweat, and tears in RLCS of being the most dominant team in the region since the Chiefs, we finally see Ground Zero making that international LAN. Amphis qualified realistically in RLCS Season 9 and RLCS Season X, and now he's going to go to his first LAN. Express goes back, and Torsos, of course, it just seems he belongs there, Jake.
He just belongs there. They always play so well under pressure. Torsos having a really awesome series. Not an amazing, flashy series, but just so consistent. Props to Juice Bandits for, shutting him down. But, everyone on our Ground Zero really showing up as well. Express playing well. Amphis pushing forward, getting that amazing clutch goal off the ceiling in Game 4 to take them to match point. Ground Zero really well deserved our road to major here.
Yeah, and it's going to be so cool to see what this team is going to be able to do on that international stage. All throughout RLCSX, it really felt like everyone was wondering where this Ground Zero matches up. Are they that top 8 team? Are they the squad to finally put OCE back in that quarterfinals? Well, in just a few weeks' time, I mean, we're going to find out.
It is going to be awesome to see, especially Amphis, I think, going to his first international LAN. There's been a lot of questions about if he's going to be able to perform, and it's time to ask him directly. Amphis, congratulations, mate. How's it feel finally, after 2 years of earning the spot, to actually get to go overseas?
Still can't believe it, to be honest. I'm ready for it to get cancelled because it has the other 2 times. So you never know. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, obviously, fingers crossed this one goes through. I think this is a bit more likely than the 2 in the past, so congratulations in that regards. However, your day isn't done yet. You need to start thinking ahead towards that land, that #1 seed in Oceania. How confident are you guys now that you are going to be able to take this entire regional?
We're definitely confident. I feel like we are the favorites, but obviously Riot have beat Renegades and we couldn't, so clearly they're still a good side. But yeah, we're definitely confident.
And how much does that first seed mean to you guys going into that major?
Yeah, well, we only did like the maths while we were watching other teams yesterday before we played, and then we were like, oh wait, if Renegades lose, we can actually get it. So I don't know, we really want it. It'll make it easier at LAN, so yeah, we're really pushing for it.
I mean, those Swiss tiebreakers, they're always brutal, so every little seeding point you can possibly get is going to make a huge difference. Mate, I don't have any more questions because this is just a huge moment for you. This is a huge moment in OCE history, and it's a huge moment in RLCS history, 2 years since the last LAN. Who are the shout-outs? What do you think about your teammates right now? Who's been the one supporting you along the way?
All right, I'll just thank everyone, I guess. Thanks to Ground Zero, they're a really good org. Obviously, my teammates popping off as usual. Got the dub. We got Daniel Boner. He's really good. he's a really good coach. Really good sleep
There's
manager.
2 N's in that name, by the way.
That's how you say it. And then obviously we've got Gemma, the best coach in the region. The best coach in the region. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, we all look forward to seeing you and supporting you at the international stage. We hope you absolutely kill it. And honestly, congratulations. So well deserved.
Cheers, guys.
Amber's a lot more humble than we see Torsos yesterday, but as you'd imagine, very, very confident to be able to take out the rest of this regional without Renegades there.
Well, Amphis has never been in this position before. He's, of course, going to be a little bit more humble. I'm going to be curious to see what he has to say if they're able to come out on top and get that #1 seed once they establish the #1 spot within OCE. However, then we'll see how humble this team is. I'm sure it'll be most of the same.
Yeah, Amphis definitely a bit more wholesome than Torsos, but it's just so fun hearing that trash talk. So I'm hoping they win. So we'll see Torsos. Express is really a great bloke as well, but
He's the most wholesome.
Yeah, he's the most wholesome, but I'm really hoping we get Torsos back just to hear that that spiciness come out of him.
It just feels unbelievable that we're sending off 2 teams back to Worlds. It's the 2 teams we've been looking for since the start of the season. 2 teams that have been incredibly deserved. And I'm excited to see how all of that goes. However, there is still a lot of Rocket League left, a lot of implications. And coming up next is going to be Riot Gaming versus Forkidden to see who's joining Ground Zero in the grand finals.